Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananji Maharaj, to all the sages and saints of this world, and to each of you divine souls watching today's satsang. We are studying Sadhana Pad of the Raja Yoga Sutras of Patanjali Maharaj, and today we are studying Sutra number 13. Commentary by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananji Maharaj, and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So the sutra is Sati Mule Tadvipako Jatyayubhogaha. Let's repeat. Sati Mule Tadvipako Jatyayubhogaha. So Sati Mule means while the root is there, Tadvipako, the receptacle of karma, brings forth what? Jati is class, Ayu is life, and Bhoga is enjoyment. So the meaning of this sutra is while the root is there, root of what? Root of these kleshas, of these 5 things that we keep bringing up over and over and over again, because these 5 are the fundamental impediments and problems to our walking on the journey of liberation, the path of total freedom. So these 5 are significant, and therefore we have to destroy them somehow. But while so the root is of these kleshas, the receptacle of karma brings forth class, life, and enjoyment. So for this you will have to have a fundamental understanding of how the karmas operate, which we have done many videos on karmas, as I have instructed you to do. Please search my videos on karma and watch those, because they will give you a firm grounding of how the karmas work. But as long as the kleshas exist, the soul is bound to the fructification of karmas, because the karmas continue to sprout. They are like seeds. So just to keep it simple, I will not get deep into it because I have 2 other videos, but just to give you a brief overview, there are 3 types of karmas. Sanchita are the accumulated storehouse of karmas from many past embodiments that are now stuck to your unconscious. Prarabdha is the fructifying karma. Only a portion of the karma can be the basis of your present embodiment, which means you still have a whole bunch of karmas that need to be resolved or addressed. And third is called the kriyamana karma, the actions that are being generated day by day, which you are doing now in your present embodiment, and they will either join your prarabdha karma or sanchita karma for future lives. Prarabdha may be this very life. Sometimes you get a result right away, sometimes you get it after 10 years or in this life. That is called prarabdha, but if it's not, then it will give it to you in future life. So these are the 3 high level karmas, but I have, as I have said, I have explained it in more depth in my other videos on karma. Karmic fructification then determines the following, as sage Patanjali is guiding us. Jati is called the class in which one is born. So the soul can be born in subhuman levels of living beings. So depending on what our karma is and where we are, the divine plan classifies us into different categories, such as birds and animals, or it can be born in human and superhuman levels, like gods or people, species that are above humans, depending on what our karmas, what our actions were. If they were better than our human body, we get that, and if they were worse than our human body, we get demoted to an animalistic level. And even while entering into human embodiment, the soul, led by its karma, goes to different families. So you may even come back in the human embodiment itself, but you may be rich or poor, you may be virtuous or sinful, you may be highly elevated or sunk in illusions. It all depends on what you have earned as part of your karmic efforts. And the second thing is called Ayu, which means life. What will be your age? How long will you live in this present embodiment? The duration of life is determined by the fructifying karma of the past. So from the previous embodiments, it will say this is what you have been sanctioned in this life. That's why we see sometimes when kids are they pass away at a very young age or something else happens, so all that is predetermined, although we may say we could have done this or should have done that. No, it's all the divine plan in the deeper mystery. So the duration of life is by the fructifying karma of the past. However, a certain degree of alteration can be made to one's present effort in the form of practicing asana, pranayama, etc., and prolonging. So you can prolong life. You have been given certain flexibility, but generally the process is very straightforward, and you can then do more self-effort to help with that. But contrary-wise, lack of self-effort can reduce one's life period. So self-effort and working on this journey is always important. And the third thing is called bhoga. Bhoga means experiences of pleasure and pain, both. So you can either have good experiences or bad experiences based on which karma is sprouting at the present time. And in every embodiment, such experiences continue to alternate all the time. Animals, birds, insects, and all subhuman levels of existence are called bhoga yonis, which means they cannot create karma. That's why we say it's a huge blessing to be born as a human being, because our intellect, faculties, and the ability to transcend and get liberated are only possible in this human level. So they are meant, the other yonis, which are bhog yonis, think of them as souls that are hospitalized. They are not able to, they are recuperating, they are not able to perform this level of self-effort like we do in the human embodiment. Therefore we say this is the time for us to strive for liberation and make this the focal point of our life. So bhog yoni, embodiments meant for enjoying. That's what bhog means. When we say enjoying, you enjoy. Enjoying is not just pleasure. I mean, pain and pleasure will both come. That's what bhoga literally means. Experiencing is a better word. You experience pain and pleasure. Karmas of the past, and in such embodiments no new karmas can be formed. In bhogyonis, all they are doing is just getting cured in the hospital. That's all. So they are finishing it up, and then they come back again, and they get another chance to create karmas. But human embodiment, however, is a rare opportunity for the soul, just like we said, for purushartha or self-effort. So you can put in your self-effort. You can wake up early in the morning during Brahma Muhurta. You can meditate. You can focus on all the problems and try to solve them. A human being can modify the karmic fructifications of the past by his present efforts. He can reduce the negative karmas of the past, enrich the positive ones, and by the practice of yoga, he can bring out the eradication of the very root of the karmic tree. You can pull it out, and as soon as you pull that tree out, main root, what happens is you experience intuitive intellect that burns all the seeds of your karmic involvements. So then he can attain self-realization and become free from the world process, even in his present life. And that is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. That is the beauty of these scriptures. They tell you nothing is impossible. Once you firmly put in your effort and dedication, and you will come out victorious. But you have to have patience, endurance, skill, effort, faith, love, compassion, and as you walk on this journey, you will see the transformation within yourself. You will see every dimension of your life starts to improve. People who come in contact with you also feel that breeze of serenity, the breeze of spring-like season come to them also. And that is the benefit we get by walking on this holy path together. Om Tat Sat.